Welcome back. It's Philip Bickel at Legal Tyranny. It's July 15th, 2021, and we're working through my traffic infraction reply brief on my appeal, and this is part C of the argument. Let's get going. Okay, moving on. The notice of infraction that Officer Davies issued to me was not identical with the one that he filed with the court. He gave me a copy and filed the original with the court in violation of HRS 286-10. He should have done the reverse there. He should have given me the original and filed the copy with the court. Now again, is he going to get hit with a fine for $70 for not filling that out properly? No, they're not going to do that. Again, he's a moneymaker, and that's why they're so exempt from so many things, and you see them not getting in trouble when they do certain things. Okay? People want to make things about race. There might be a minor race element there, but more than anything, these guys are moneymakers. Okay? Do your welfare class people have the same amount of money that the middle class has? No. The middle class is a larger population, and it has more money, so they're a bigger target. They're the ones getting targeted usually. Now, this is just a matter of statistics, okay? And people that don't feel good about that, well, tough luck. Like, this isn't a feel issue. This is like basic facts. The welfare class, the underclass is growing, but the middle class has been the primary target for most of these police actions. Anything related to, say, fines and fees, because they're not going to get it out of the other classes. They either don't have the money, they're not going to consistently be able to locate these people. Some of them are homeless or transients. But the middle class, they got that ball and chain. They're wage slaves, the way they've got this set up with our fiat currency. Okay, the enforcing officer gave me a notice of infraction, see Exhibit F. This officer filed the original with the court. This was in violation of 286-10, which states in part, the original of a summons or a citation shall be given to the alleged violator, and the other copy or copies distributed in a manner by the courts, distributed in a manner prescribed by the district courts, provided that the district courts may prescribe alternative methods of distribution of the original and any other copy. Now, alternative methods of distribution of the original does not mean that the court can ever get the original. That original is supposed to go to the alleged violator. However, whether or not they're handed it on the side of the road or mailed the original, those are two different methods of distribution of the original. Okay, and then the copy, the distribution could be electronic. They could do through the Jeff system. I think the cops have access to do that now. They can get on there, file it electronically. In the past, they might have faxed it. Would they have faxed it? They might have faxed something just as a early heads up, but they ultimately would have mailed in or physically gone and dropped off the original. So those are the methods that they would handle the other copies. Again, we have to keep these classes separate. There's a reason why you're supposed to get the original. Think about it. If you have the original, you're going to know that that thing hasn't been altered since it was given to you. On these documents contain different information on them. On Exhibit F, the box labeled Officer's Observations was left with only partial information. It excluded the comment found on Exhibit E, where the officer wrote, in license plate holder, passport for ID, bill of sale for truck, and copied docs from California, no state seal. That was my letter from the California Highway Patrol indicating that they do not regulate non-commercial vehicles, and that non-commercial vehicles were not required to be registered pursuant to California Vehicle Code 260. And I've got it pulled up for you here. This is the legislature's website in the state of California. And if you just do a search on California statutory code, you can get to this same interface here. So if you go back here, there's all of the different codes in California that you can choose from. So we'll stick with the vehicle code. And 260 is the section we want. Okay, a lot of you are familiar with this by now, but then again, most people aren't. Okay, a commercial vehicle code, or a commercial vehicle is a motor vehicle of a type required to be registered under this code, used or maintained for the transportation of persons for hire, compensation, or profit, or designed, used, or maintained primarily for the transportation of property. Okay, taxis, people of that ilk, including your chauffeurs. And over here, these are your big rig drivers and people moving primarily property. But this is the part that we're interested in the most, because it takes both of these together to see that this is a separate class, and that's how the Supreme Court in California's handled it in all the cases I've ever seen. The courts have never merged them. However, they tend to avoid these arguments raising the issue of the commerce. They'll just basically, it's like how Judge Freeth handled me when I raised the statute of limitations. They just ignore you. Okay, so passenger vehicles and house cars that are not used for the transportation of persons for hire, compensation, or profit are not commercial vehicles. Okay, so they're not commercial vehicles. And the whole reason they aren't is because they're not doing this section here. And if they're not commercial vehicles, then they're not of a type required to be registered. Okay, same thing with the van pool. It's not required to be registered. All right, yeah, let's move forward. The officer does not indicate in his observations that he had any actual proof that I was a registered owner of the Ford F-150, and yet on his exhibits he indicates that I was the registered owner. On Exhibit J, a certified copy of a California DMV search through records for a registered owner of the Ford F-150 in question, it can be seen that on November 11, 2016, the date of arrest by Officer Davies, there is no record of the Ford F-150 being registered to me. Okay, so I'm still a citizen of the Republic of California under their original constitution, and the DMV over there did not have any record of any registered owner. However, they did have records of that truck at prior dates being registered, and that was to, show that he had absolutely no evidence to come to the conclusion that I was the registered owner. In a transcript from the trial, the arresting officer indicates that he was not given proof of registration by me. Question. Okay, and also you've testified today, correct me if I'm wrong, that you were not given any proof of registration by me. Answer. That's correct. So in his own words, he was not given any proof. If he had no proof and he filled that out that I was a registered owner, then we've got a problem, right? Yeah. So these are the sort of things you want to bring up. Anything that can make them look bad because they're not doing what they're supposed to do. If he had facts that I was the registered owner, I'd have no problem with that. But I know I'm not a registered owner. I'm the one that makes that decision to register. And with all my research, I know I'm not required to, even if it's a major headache. But it's a fight, and it's one of the areas you can fight where, the problems, if you lose, are not like you're going to lose your house or your entire wealth. So careful what hill you choose to fight on. The income tax is not a good one to fight on. The, what else is there? There's the income tax. Gun rights is a difficult one. I'm not even going to touch that. It's just a tough one. Obviously, we don't want to be disarmed. These people that are running things now are Bolsheviks. Well, more than that, they're from a tribe. You all know what tribe I mean. I'll get censored if I say it. Okay, so the trial transcripts show that the officer admitted that he has seen a lot of proofs of registration. I had him lay that out. It's great. You guys are going to love this section coming up. Let's get to it. He also claims that he believed that the bill of sale was proof of registration. This is beyond incredulous, given that he admitted that he has seen a lot of proofs of registration over the years that he has been an officer. On top of that, this bill of sale was not issued by California, as he noted on the citation that he filed with court, see Exhibit E, in which he conveniently left off of what was supposed to be an identical citation that he gave to me. See, my citation did not have that information. Where is it? Right here. That wasn't on there. So I couldn't easily attack that until I got a hold of that original. I had to go get the original. Okay. So furthermore, this officer testified under oath that he didn't see any indication that the bill of sale was issued by the state of California, or any other state for that matter, and that he wasn't certain that the Ford F-150 was registered in California. And yet, that citation that he filled out indicates at the very top on the left in small print that on information and personal, belief, the following facts were true. And that included, the box that he checked off that it was a registered owner. All right, get a load of this section, guys. You're going to like this. Is there any indication that this bill of sale was issued by the state of California? No, sir. Okay, and do you see any indication that the state issued this bill of sale? No, that any state issued this bill of sale? No, sir. Okay, and so would you say that it appears to be a bill of sale between two people? Yes, sir. Okay, and you've said that you've been employed for 15 years doing traffic enforcement, correct? Yes, sir. Or I've been employed for 15 years. My sole job wasn't traffic enforcement that full 15 years. But you have, would you say, a decent bit of experience as traffic enforcement? Yes, sir. Okay, so have you seen many proofs of registration? Yes, I have. And how many of them are not issued by a state? None that I'm aware of. But you took that to be a proof of registration when you filled out the citation with the notice of arrest listed on it. So when you filled out Exhibit C, the citation for traffic crime arrest, you selected yes under registered owner. And I'm trying to ascertain why you decided that this bill of sale, that does not appear to have been issued by a state, was legitimate as a form of proof of registration. Like I mentioned earlier, I took it at face value, and I didn't know if you had the vehicle registered in California before at the time, so you weren't actually certain it had been registered in California. I don't believe so. And yet you declared, under penalty of law, that I was the registered owner, correct? I'll admit it was a simple yes, but this is what you get from somebody that's been busted. I marked on my citation that you were the registered owner. Yes, I checked the box. Yes. All right, you guys will probably want to pause this and just read through what I did here on this cross-examination. I eliminated his potential sources of facts that he could have used there. So he didn't have any facts from the state issuing something. You know, we make it clear that this bill of sale was that he wants to claim he thought was registration, that it was a sale between two people. I mean, it's no different than you know, Costco receipt. You know, they'll have their title at the top, and they might have your signature at the bottom, depending on how you're paying. So, you know, this guy, he knew better, and I'm sure the state didn't like where this went as I was asking these questions, and I eliminated his potential outs. So, you know, how can you, like, at face value, he's admitted it looked like a bill of sale between two people. So, you know, what's happening right here is the prosecution, in my opinion, did coach him on how to answer things. I'm going to tell you right now, during one of our breaks, I very explicitly remember Prosecutor Linnea Downs sitting outside on the sofas right outside the courtroom. She was sitting there talking with him, no doubt talking about the case. Otherwise, she's not going to talk with him. They're not buddies. And this is when I had to go use the restroom, or we took a general break or something. But, you know, I went out and they're out there talking. So, you know, this is just scummy. Yeah, it's just scummy on their part, the way they handled that. And, yeah, so she was talking with him out there, and no doubt helping him on how he answered things. And, you know, there were other situations where in the most famous video I've got, the prosecutor, cop, judge busted, depriving me of due process rights. In that video, the prosecutor and the judge prep him on the stand by asking him certain questions, you know, about whether he understood various things. And, you know, at that point he knew he was supposed to say he didn't understand, and it basically thwarted my questioning on those lines. So, yeah, by answering this, you know, trying to pretend it was a good faith belief, they're trying to get him off the hook for filling something out under penalty of law, that it was a fact. And he's answering that he knew it wasn't a fact. So, you know, he really can't get off of that. I mean, this just shows how corrupt things are. He should be prosecuted over this. But, you know, we all know that's not going to happen. Okay, we're going to wrap it up here. If you found the information informative and useful, please give the video a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. And if you are subscribed, please hit the notification bell so you know when I have a new video posted. And as always, if you can copy and paste videos that specifically would help certain people, that helps me out, because this information isn't going to get out any other way. Thanks. Until next time.